Thank you for this invitation. 15 minutes is too short.
You can take my time. You can take my time.
Yeah, my time too.
It's too short to talk about a principle that originates in Islam, which dates back to more than
3 decades.
3 decades, right? Exactly, 3 centuries actually. So, allow me to indulge, and I will give you a brief overview of our foundation here. As you can see, we have called our foundation the Global Thayyiban Academy, and our plan is to create a sustainable ecosystem for our current and future generation. So it is really a sustainable program and a very long-term program. So what we are doing, to take a term from agriculture, planting the seeds, so that the seeds that we plant will sprout into a major program, and it will actually forest the entire universe to create sustainable living. Okay, so a little bit about our Global Thayyiban Academy. As you can see, we are a foundation that is keen on promoting the spread of a Thayyiban consumer lifestyle. So Thayyiban is our keyword here. Why Thayyiban? Because we see Thayyiban as providing the solution to a sustainable and healthy lifestyle in our current world, which is actually suffering, if I may say, from the excesses of what we call crass materialism and runaway capitalism. We have seen this happening in the United States. We have seen it fall. We have seen it happening in Japan. Japan is a bit more sustainable, but you have seen crashes too. And even in my own country, Singapore, a very controlled place. But we are now feeling the bad effects of this, what we call runaway capitalism. I'm not saying capitalism is bad, but if it's not well planned, if it's not sustainable, the problems that it creates is humongous. So unfortunately, we are seeing this in parts of the developed world, such as the US and parts of Europe. So our foundation then intends to bring about a new revolution in the global consumables industry, basically in the food industry, in pharmaceutical industries, in cosmetics, personal care and wellness, by introducing what we call Thayyiban standards. By introducing Thayyiban standards, what we are doing is we are extending the global healthy living industry on a widespread scale. Now you may ask me, you are talking about Thayyiban, but you haven't explained what Thayyiban means. So here is a small background on Thayyiban. Now if you look at Thayyiban, of course the word comes from the Quran, right? So to translate it, to give you a translation into English, it's difficult, but we try to give you a translation into English. The closest translation that we have is pure and good. Thayyiban adalah sesuatu perkara yang baik. The word baik encompasses many things, a lot of things. It's a big concept. Baik itu apa? Kan we want to ask. Thayyiban is baik. Baik is a big concept. It's a universal concept. It is universal and it is relevant to all religions, all people in this world. You are a Muslim, although it has its roots in our religion Islam, but it is applicable if you are not a Muslim. If you are a Buddhist, you are a Hindu, you are a Christian, you are from any religion, we all believe in good. We all believe in goodness, in good living, and that is what we are seeking to bring back. It is not that all these religions do not know about the concept of good, but unfortunately, in this materialistic world, what I call runaway materialism, we have forgotten, or rather we have put it on the back burner. it has taken a back seat. We want to bring it back. We want to bring back this concept here. And the potential for Thayyiban, as it's the most relevant principle, we think, for our consumerist lifestyle. We all live on this earth, and as human beings, we have to consume. That is one basic principle. We have to constantly consume. We consume food, we consume drinks. Women, we consume cosmetics, we consume wellness, we consume every time, every day. Even the air that we breathe in, we consume it. So we need clean air. These are basic things. The water we drink, we need clean water. In fact, as you may realize, people die. The leading cause of death is not terrorism. It is not, it is really basic things. People die because they eat the wrong food. They drink something which is, the water is not clean. The medicine that they take creates problems. Every time we put something into our mouth, it is dangerous. We fear. I do research in China. When I first went to China, the first question, I was invited, of course, to a lovely halal meal, right? And the first question one of my Chinese diners at the table asked me is, Professor, how do we migrate to Singapore? I'm like, why do you want to migrate to Singapore? Very crowded, we already have a lot of problems. And his first answer was food safety. Food safety. The number one concern in China today is food safety. He said, Professor, I have children. I want my children to grow up in a healthy world. And that was the number one concern. We call China a consumerist society, materialistic society, but their number one concern was something so basic that somebody like me doesn't think about, food safety, but that was their number one concern. So it is a big concern, and we want to spread it throughout the world, and this is what our program, our academy is all about. So, as I already said, Thayyiban, the principle of Thayyiban is then based on certain key principles. Ecological sustainability, the word sustainability is important. Responsible harnessing of the environment. We constantly harness the environment here in the agriculture department, right? We are actually working the environment, but Islam teaches us you have to work it in a responsible way. And that responsibility is so important. Because we are Khalifas. This land is a lost land. It doesn't belong to us. We are Khalifas. We are caretakers. As caretakers, we have a huge responsibility. And that responsibility sometimes is forgotten, or many times is forgotten, right? Critical thinking with good science and good science. Those of you, and there are so many Islamic scholars in this room, you will know that Islam is based on good science. That's the beauty of Islam. I was attracted to Islam because of the good science in Islam. Brilliant. I think we have already this strong principles here. And this is actually to help us create a better world for humanity. And as Muslims, we know that halal is very important to us. But unfortunately, if you look at the situation, halal, the production of halal is monopolized by companies that have prioritized profit rather than health and environmental sustainability. So our halal industry is, if I may say, a lost industry. It's lost to profit maximization. It is lost to crass materialism, runaway capitalism that I talk about. Even halal is affected. That's why we are redirecting the focus to Thayyiban, the focus to emphasize health, responsible human-nature relations, and sustainable production and development. These are all big words, but let me assure you, it can be done. It has to start with us planting seeds. The beautiful thing about Thayyiban is that, as I said, it serves to link Muslims and non-Muslims in a mission to revolutionize our lives, to create harmony with the physical and the social environments. And I say it because I have seen that happen, so I say it, yeah? And if you look at the market for halal consumables, it is enormous. Let me show you the chart. Okay, here's the diagram. This is the market for halal consumables. You can see that within 6 years, from 2012 to 2018, it has doubled already. It's huge. The market for halal consumables is huge in terms of Islamic finance, halal food, Muslim clothing, and pharmaceuticals and cosmetics. And the halal market is growing. It is not dying. It's a growing market. Why? Because if you look at it in terms of the Muslim population, by the year 2100, Islam will overtake Christianity as the biggest religion in the world. So you will have Muslims being the dominant followers of a religion in this world. And the industry knows that very well. The industry knows that very well, and it is actually banking on that. Now, if the halal industry is so big, what about Thayyiban? What about Thayyiban, right? So Thayyiban is going to get even bigger when we become responsible Muslims. We are not just increasing in number, I hope, but I really hope we are also increasing in our maturity, in our understanding of the true principles of Islam, yeah? So this is to give you more information on halal and Thayyiban here. Okay, as I already mentioned, my research actually comes from China. And China, when I first went to China, I saw that I think all around the world we know we have problems with Chinese consumables, right? You see that in China, fake eggs, diseased meat, mislabeled meat, tainted rice, tainted eggs, fake mutton, recycled cooking oil, everything happens in China, and that is why food safety is the #1 concern in China. So when I went to do research in China, I realized, hey, Thayyiban provides the solution. Thayyiban really provides a solution to this food security problem. Why? Because in China, when you go to, I do research in Ningxia, which is a majority Muslim province. It's known as an autonomous Muslim province. So because of that, there are a lot of what we call Qingzhen. Qingzhen is the Chinese word equivalent to halal. But actually Qingzhen means pure and true. So Islam is Qingzhen religion. It's the pure and true religion. So halal food is the pure and true food. So many non-Muslim Chinese were eating in Qingzhen restaurants. So I asked them why. They said, because we believe that the Muslims will not create fake eggs, will not create tainted meat. They have religious principles that communist China ignored. So that's why they were looking to halal food there, Qingzhen food there. So Qingzhen restaurants, halal restaurants, became the meeting point for Muslims and non-Muslims to come together and to dine together. And Qingzhen restaurants provided the solution for this fear that people had regarding food scares. So that's how I saw it. And as you know, China is now embarked on this ambitious project called the One Belt, One Road initiative. And many of the countries on this One Belt, One Road initiatives happen to be Muslim countries. So what do they trade with these Muslim countries? China has great potential to actually trade in Thayyiban products and increase its kind of status in the world through creating Thayyiban products. Thayyiban products will raise China's image, not halal products. Unfortunately, why not halal products? Because halal products are still dominated, unfortunately, again, by non-Muslims. And if you look at one of the, I think you all know about the milk powder scandal in China. Are you aware of the milk powder scandal in China? Where the milk powder that was given to babies was actually tainted. And babies died, and many babies fell sick. They covered up the numbers, so we don't know how many babies died, but they said only 6 babies, but I think it's more than that. But actually, what happened was the milk company produced milk where they actually included a chemical compound which actually raises the amount of protein in the milk powder. But that chemical compound is actually used to create plastic. Yes. Yes, exactly, melamine, right? So when you put that and you give it to babies, think of what you are doing to babies. And unfortunately, that milk company was certified halal. So halal is, Thayyiban is the solution, yeah? So this is our goals and our operation. For our foundation, we have academic research. How do we realize our mission? Through academic research. And we are currently all doing research done by myself, working in China, and soon in Singapore. Dr. Riziyawati, who unfortunately couldn't be here, she's been working in Malaysia and Thailand. Dr. Rika herself, who's working in Indonesia, and Dr. Ma Jianfu, who was my former student, a Chinese Muslim from Ningxia, who's working in China. And of course, and another person is Dr. Eva Lengerbeck, who works on Malaysia and Indonesia, who couldn't be here today. Now, academic research is necessary to provide solid, well-researched data on the practice of Thayyiban in our member countries, and also to show how scientific Islam is, how scientific Islamic principles are. We also wish to do advanced research and development and production of Thayyiban foods and products, not just halal. Thayyiban includes halal. Halal is actually a small concept. If you look at the Quran, the bigger concept is Thayyiban. Kalau kita baca Al-Quran kan, kita akan baca perkataan kata halal. Yang halal itu Thayyiban. Halal has to go with Thayyiban. Halal and Thayyiban comes together. The Quran doesn't isolate halal and Thayyiban, but unfortunately in the human world we have isolated. When we talk about halal, we mix it with haram. Halal, yang halal itu bukan haram, tapi yang sebenarnya apa yang Quran kata yaitu yang halal itu Thayyiban. Tapi kita fokus on haram. We focus on halal and haram, tapi yang itu bukan apa yang Quran katakan. Quran, bila kita baca Al-Quran, dia akan kata yang halal itu adalah Thayyiban. Kenapa? Why we don't focus on Thayyiban? Because it's difficult. But because it's difficult, we give up. We focus on the easier thing because it makes money, unfortunately. So we want to produce not just halal products, but we want to produce Thayyiban products. And currently, our professor from Malaysia has already started the first Thayyiban product through her Asian halal labs in Malaysia. She's produced an organic soap and she's making more and more skincare products. I will play a short video on that. And in Thailand, our next speaker, Dr. Ase Sayaka, will work on Thayyiban products, in this case mangosteen juice and mangosteen skin powder. As you know, mangosteen juice is very good for many things, especially controlling blood sugar levels. Unfortunately, if you look at blood sugar levels, the blood sugar levels in Southeast Asia are highest amongst the Muslim population. Melayu Muslim population registers the highest rate of diabetes. Semalam kita pergi makan di restoran, kita minum apa itu? Soda gembira. Oh, gembira sangat kan? Sebab sugar level high. Dr. Asif said, oh, soda gembira. Sugar pun jadi gembira juga. Sugar level pun. So it creates a lot of problems. And we have identified a product to control our sugar level. The beauty of Islam is that, the beauty of creation is that while you take in bad things, God has already created good things in nature for you. Our future goals for our project, we plan to have, now you have a lot of halal trade fairs. Why not Thayyiban trade fairs? We have to push for Thayyiban trade fairs. That is our mission now that we are starting on our Thayyiban project. And we will do it as a way of educating the world that Islam is actually about Thayyiban rather than merely halal. Sorry. We also plan to have an international Thayyiban summit, an academic conference together with a business trade fair. And we hope to actually hold a summit here in Gadjah in next year. So Gadjah will be actually the pioneer city to introduce Thayyiban to the world, really, to both Muslims and non-Muslims. And we see this summit as a platform to bring together all Thayyiban manufacturers, as well as introduce Thayyiban in a big way to the international market. A pet project that we all have, our foundation has, is the Thayyiban YouTube channel. We have to reach out to young people also, and young people love to be on the online these days. So a YouTube channel is very easy. You click on the YouTube channel, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you get the information, you learn. This is a new way of learning, and as teachers, I'm a teacher myself, as teachers we have to look at new ways of learning for our young people, and it's a kind of food taqwa as well, if I can call it. And also we plan to have Thayyiban trainings, and we hope when we set up the foundation, now that UGM is interested, if it's based here, we can do Thayyiban trainings here, start here. And while we have Halal certification, we do not have Thayyiban certification. Thayyiban certification is a much higher level, and we hope to introduce Thayyiban certification right here also. Okay, and of course, it will be, it's not just a platform for business, but also for education as well, because we have educators and we have business people on in our foundation, and more projects in the pipeline. Thayyiban cafes. What is a Thayyiban cafe? Now we have just food cafes and halal food cafes, but a Thayyiban cafe is a cafe which will be what we call food as medicine cafe, or food clinics. Maybe the concept of food clinic, something we haven't heard of it before, but those of us who go into traditional medicine, such as Jamu in Indonesia, such as Ayurveda in India, such as TCM in China, know that food is used as medicine rather than Western medication. And that's why we see food clinics as a place to enjoy your food, but also to ensure good health. And also we have Chef Kamal in our team as well, who's creating a Thayyiban cookbook. We have a lot of halal cookbooks, but not yet a Thayyiban cookbook. So these are projects in the pipeline. And also more projects, a Thayyiban village for sustainable, holistic sustainable living. Now you have retirement homes. This is our Thayyiban concept in the future. And Thayyiban Foods for Peace. I did research in southern Thailand, where Professor Ase is from, and that's how I know Professor Ase. And as you know, this is one region in Southeast Asia which has been rocked by violence, and the violence involving the Muslim population here. How do we bring peace to the region? We may not think about it, but food is a very important weapon. You can use food to fight violence. And that's what we are trying to do in places like in Thailand, and in places, another place is Kashmir, because we have Kashmiri scientists who would join our foundation soon also. And this is our team members. That's myself, that's Dr. Rika Rizyawati that you saw in the video. There's Dr. Eva Langeberg. Dr. Langeberg actually does research in Indonesia as well as Malaysia, working on halal cosmetics also. And more people. We have Dr. Ase Sayaka, who will be delivering his speech. And then we have Dr. Rika Fatima, who's here also. And Dr. Ma Jianfu, who is from Ningxia in China. And then we have Mr. Muhammad Kamal Kamis, who is the president of the Singapore Halal Culinary Federation, and Ms. Si Kai Xuan, who is the director of Kitchen Square, who works together with Dr. Kamal. As you can see, our team is a multi-racial, multi-religious team. And unfortunately, I think Dr. Ivan Lanovara's picture is not there. I apologize. I think he was too handsome for the video, for the slides. That's why we couldn't have it. But he is in real life here, Dr. Ivan Lanubara. Thank you.